Good afternoon. It is February 3rd, 2022, and you can see today we pretty much had what appeared to be a range day for a while, but then it turned out to be a downtrend. And so you can see we hit that. This is how I drew my lows. You know, towards the opening, we were trending down, so it was hard to tell where exactly the lows are. But you can see this midline is very, very valid. So that's how I drew it, and if you see here, we got a bounce at the overnight lows, or I mean the measured move. So I think it might be valid. I didn't see too many good trades in here today, so let's take a look. Maybe there was something I missed, but 5 o'clock comes right about here as we're correcting down. You can see it looks like we made like a leg down early on, and then just kind of we're chopping around. So this leg might be a measured leg, but it just felt like there was a downward bias. You can see that's pretty much a measured leg down, but and this one was bigger. But there was a downward bias, especially when this thing didn't test these highs. It felt like we were going to go back to the lows. So for sure, because we didn't make the lows this time. And so I looked at that as a failed attempt to go higher. This is a first entry, failed second entry long. I probably would have, because of these lows, I probably would have tried to get an entry closer to up here. But like maybe go on the engulfing bar, I mean. But we'll see. We'll see what Max says about that. So anyway, we get a break of that channel and it just forms some congestion. And this looks too tight for my liking. None of these look like very like counter trend breakouts necessarily. So you can see we try and make a new low here, which we do make a new low, but it's not a significant new low, and we bounce, and you get a first entry, failed second entry long. That also looks like a breakout pullback. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, you can see that looks like a measured move too to these lows. If I put the midline up here, you can see that they're just hitting measured moves. But anyway, yeah, look, this is a breakout pullback. And at that point, it looks like this is a range day. So I like that move and that entry. It is a little congestive though, so there is that to consider. But that's a nice leg up. You can see we get a second leg up right there. So oh, I didn't even spot this. Okay, I think I would mark this red. I like that a lot personally. You get a first failed second entry long off this trend channel, confirming that trend channel. We're expecting to break back into these this range because this is a first time breakout. We trended down into this range, and we probably hit the measured move to the high side too. Yeah, you can see that, boom, resistance right there. Closes beneath the EMA. What else? There's room to this level of support, so you might worry about support there. You can see it bounce there a little bit. So I think this is just checking all the boxes. And I probably marked this thinking it was a potential failure, but it's not. Now that I see that, it's not. Here you have a second entry short, but it doesn't set up too well. Looks congestive at that point. It's got a lot of stem there, and that's right in the middle of the range, so don't think you want that. And we can't really make a new low, so when we bounce there and this trend starts forming, yeah, you might take this first second entry, but those are below the EMA, and we're still, they could be tricking us to think that it's an uptrend when it could just be congestion. But then when you get this first entry goes lower, second entry long, that confirms the trend channel, but you're going into the highs of what I would have had drawn at that time as the top of the trend channel. So you do get a higher low, and this one still is aggressive because it's a doji, but it's a higher low and you're getting a better entry price. So I think there's reason to think about that. Then we get an overshoot, it leads to a break, and then we get 1, 2 legs up. I don't see anything in this I like. And then we start chopping sideways in this range up here. So you can see this. This is probably what it was. I probably would have had it originally drawn like this. And you know, it looks like we are going, we're struggling to go higher. And so this is a reversal. First entry, failed second entry. Just the move up is so strong. I like that entry. But I mean, there's reason to be concerned because there's strong resistance, even at this price level and this price level. And you're going right into that. So something to think about. First entry, failed second entry, too far from the EMA. This is all congestive. Let me delete this steeper channel. This is extremely congestive. What is that, the overnight lows? Yeah. So I don't think you can enter in any of this. This looks like it might be a third entry, first, second, third entry. That happens a lot when these trends wither away. They'll give a third entry that falls down. Here we get a first entry, second entry short, and I probably wouldn't, just because of that price level, I probably wouldn't go short beneath this bar. I probably want to get a better entry there. And then when it's clear that that's an extremely strong level of support, we come back up. And this looks like a failed breakout, counter trend. So there's some reason to think about that. Then you get a lower high, and I think you got to go short there. And even if you put your runner right here, that gets you a couple points right there. Then it's just chopping around. It comes down, tests these lows again, and bounces, and just goes back and forth on both sides of the EMA, just ranging. You get this kind of looks like a double top, kind of. So first entry, failed second entry, long. You might look at it like that, but that's going into this measured move, and so that's definitely aggressive. Then we come down, hit that measured move, and we bounce, and you get a first entry, second entry, it doesn't trigger. Then you get this signal bar, and by that time it just looks too congestive. Then you get okay, this is technically a failed third entry, but it looks like one leg back, two legs back. And just because of how bullish that signal bar is, and we're chopping around at the measured move, I think that's okay, but that looks like you're going into the level of resistance. And we get the overshoot, and that leads to a break, and you get a first entry, failed second entry long, and I think that's a good entry right there. And that takes us into 1230, and I'm not analyzing the chart any longer, so let's take a look. So I accidentally entered without an automated strategy today, so this trade, okay, this is a trade that I marked, but I only got 1 point on it, I think. Actually, I got 1.75 points because I had to hit close when I saw it hit 1 point, and luckily it shot up. And then here I went short, thinking that's kind of like a hidden second entry is how I was looking at it, also testing this price level. Wait, hold up. Oh, okay, I also kind of looked at it as like a failure, I guess, but it's like a second entry. And if I entered on this bar, well, hopefully I took into account that this bar didn't even have matching highs. But it looks like, I mean, technically it's a failed second entry long, but we don't like them if they're setting up above the EMA. So maybe I just took that because it also looks like a second entry short. I haven't been journaling my sim trades. I've only been journaling my live trades lately, which is one contract on the MES. So that's probably why I'm not clear on what happened there. But anyway, I hope everyone has a good day. I'll be back tomorrow.